Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and feeling completely at peace with yourself. No more harsh judgments, no more self-doubt, just calm and kindness inside. Imagine looking in the mirror and seeing not only your face, but your true self, a soul worthy of love and respect. Imagine if every day you could treat yourself like a dear friend, with patience and compassion. How different would your life be? Have you ever asked yourself why it feels so hard to love who you are? Why do some thoughts in your mind tell you that you're not good enough? What if the way to find real happiness starts by learning to love yourself deeply and truly? Think about this simple moment. When a small child falls down and gets hurt, they don't say, "I'm useless" or "I'm broken." Instead, they cry, and someone nearby comforts them with gentle words and care. But as adults, we often forget to treat ourselves with the same kindness. What if you could bring that same warmth to your own heart every day? Welcome to Wisdom Writings, where we explore ancient Buddhist teachings that can help you discover the true meaning of self-love. Here, you'll find peaceful ideas and simple practices to help you let go of pain and find joy inside yourself. If you find value in these teachings, please like this video. Share it with your friends who might need this message. Don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Writings to join a community dedicated to growing love and peace. And please, drop down your thoughts in the comments. Your voice matters here. To stay positive and mindful till the very end of the video, type Namo Buddhari in the comments below. In Buddhism, learning to love yourself starts with seeing your mind clearly. The mind often creates stories about who you are, many of which cause suffering. But when you look carefully, you see that those stories are not the whole truth. They're like clouds that cover the sun. The sun is your true self, shining bright underneath. This journey of self-love is not about selfishness or pride. It's about understanding and accepting that you, like every being, deserve happiness and kindness. Buddha taught that all beings want to be happy and free from suffering, including you. When you begin to treat yourself with love, you begin to heal old wounds and open your heart to peace. Every day, your mind offers a choice: to judge yourself harshly or to offer kindness and patience. It is not always easy, but with practice, the heart softens. Remember, self-love is a practice like watering a small plant every day. It grows stronger with care and time. In the next parts, we will explore simple but powerful ways to bring this love alive, step by step, using Buddhist wisdom. For now, hold on to this thought. You are worthy of your own love. Imagine a clear pond in a quiet forest. When the wind blows, the surface ripples and distorts the reflection. But if you wait patiently, the water settles, and you see your true image clearly. So it is with the mind. Often, we live with many ripples, thoughts, feelings, judgments that hide our true self. The first step in learning to love yourself is to see beyond these ripples, to look past the stories that your mind tells you about who you are. In the teachings of the Buddha, there's a deep understanding that much of our suffering comes from holding on to illusions. Illusions about ourselves, about what we should be, and about what others think of us. These illusions create a heavy burden. When you carry this burden, it is very difficult to feel love and kindness toward yourself. You become trapped by judgment and comparison. Think about how often your mind says things like, "I am not enough," or "I have to be perfect to be loved." These thoughts are like shadows. They appear real, but they have no solid foundation. They come from the mind's habit of clinging to false ideas, like a child holding onto a shadow, believing it to be something harmful or scary. But what if you could let go of these shadows? What if you could see that these judgments are not who you truly are? The Buddha teaches that the self is not a fixed, unchanging thing. Instead, it is like a river, always flowing, always changing. When you try to hold onto one image of yourself, you create suffering because life does not stay the same. Many people believe they're defined by their past mistakes, their failures, or even by what others say about them. But these are only stories. They do not capture the essence of who you are. In fact, clinging to these stories is like reading only one page of a very long book and thinking you understand the whole story. Letting go of self-judgment is not easy. It takes courage to face the mind and say, I am more than these thoughts. It requires patience to watch the mind's habits without becoming angry or discouraged. But each moment you practice this, you weaken the power of the false identity. Imagine a garden overgrown with weeds. The weeds represent all the harsh thoughts and judgments you have about yourself. At first, it may seem impossible to clear the garden. But with gentle care, one weed at a time, the garden begins to breathe and flourish. This is how self-love grows, slowly, steadily, with gentle attention. When the Buddha spoke about suffering, he pointed to attachment as its root cause. Attachment to ideas, to identities, to how we think life should be. When you attach yourself to an identity of I am flawed or I am unworthy, you suffer. But when you can loosen your grip on these attachments, your mind begins to find peace. It is important to realize that loving yourself does not mean ignoring your flaws or pretending they do not exist. It means recognizing that your worth is not tied to perfection. Even with flaws, you are deserving of love and kindness. This is a radical idea, especially in a world that often teaches us to fix ourselves before we could be accepted. The path of Buddhism offers many tools to help you see past illusions. Meditation, for example, allows you to observe your mind without judgment. When you sit quietly and watch your thoughts come and go, you begin to see that you're not your thoughts. You're the one who notices them. This simple realization can free you from the chains of self-criticism. Another teaching is compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. The Buddha said, you yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. When you practice compassion, you treat yourself with the same care that you would offer to a dear friend. Sometimes you may feel like your mind is a storm, full of noise and chaos. It is easy to believe that your identity is lost in this storm, but the Zen master encourages you to become like the sky, vast, open, and calm above the storm. Your true self is not the storm. It is the space in which the storm arises and eventually fades. The journey of shedding false identity also means being honest with yourself. It means looking deeply into your habits, your fears, and your desires. But do this gently. Do not punish yourself for what you discover. Instead, see it as a natural part of being human. Everyone carries some pain and confusion. When you begin to see yourself without harshness, you allow space for healing. You begin to understand that mistakes are teachers, not definitions. You see that your value is not measured by success or failure, but by your very existence. This is a truth that Buddhism reveals again and again. One way to practice this is to observe how you speak to yourself during the day. Notice the tone of your inner voice. Is it kind? Is it patient? Or is it sharp and demanding? When you hear harsh words in your mind, gently remind yourself, this is not my truth. I am more than these words. Remember, the mind is like a garden. If you plant seeds of kindness, patience, and forgiveness, these qualities will grow. If you water weeds of judgment, they will take over. You have the power to choose what grows in your garden. Another illusion that many hold is the belief that self-love is selfish. This is a misunderstanding. Loving yourself deeply creates space for love to flow outward. When you fill your own cup, you can pour love and kindness to others. Buddhism teaches that compassion and self-love are not separate. They are two sides of the same coin. It is helpful to reflect on the impermanent nature of all things. You are changing every moment. Your thoughts, feelings, and body are in constant motion. Trying to hold on to one fixed identity is like trying to catch water with your hands. When you accept this flow, you find freedom. Sometimes, you may meet people who remind you of your old self-judgments. They might criticize you or fail to see your true worth. When this happens, remember that their words do not define you. They see the ripples on the water, not the deep pond beneath. You are invited to be curious about your mind, not with blame, but with kindness. Ask yourself, where do these thoughts come from? Why do I believe them? What would happen if I let them go? In this gentle inquiry, you begin to loosen the chains of false identity. The Zen master says, the true self is not something you create. It is something you discover by removing the layers of illusion. Like peeling an onion, each layer you remove brings you closer to the core. And at the core, there is nothing to fear, nothing to hide. You may feel moments of doubt or fear during this process. This is natural. Fear often arises when you let go of what feels familiar, even if it causes pain. Trust that this fear is part of the journey and that it too will pass like a cloud in the sky. Practicing mindfulness helps you stay present with these feelings without being overwhelmed. You learn to observe fear without running from it or holding on to it. This builds courage to face yourself honestly. It is said that the mind can be both a prison and a palace. When you're caught in self-judgment, the mind feels like a prison. When you practice seeing yourself with love and clarity, the mind becomes a palace, a place of peace and beauty. Learning to love yourself through Buddhism is not about becoming perfect. It is about waking up to your true nature. It is about finding the peace that exists beneath the surface noise of judgment and fear. This journey invites you to slow down, to breathe deeply, to become a witness to your own experience, to realize that the stories you tell yourself are just that, stories, not reality. As you begin to let go of illusions, you open the door to genuine happiness. Happiness that does not depend on outside things, but comes from within. This happiness is steady and calm, like the deep pond reflecting the sky. In time, you will notice that the harsh voice inside your head grows quieter. The heavy burden of self-criticism lifts. You start to smile more gently at yourself. You treat yourself with patience when you make mistakes. This is the blossoming of self-love. The Zen master reminds you, be gentle with yourself. This is a lifelong practice. Some days will be easier than others, but each moment you return to kindness, you build a foundation for lasting peace. You are not alone on this path. Many have walked it before you, and many will walk it after. The Buddhist teachings are like a lamp, lighting the way in dark times. So when you feel lost, remember the image of the clear pond. Wait patiently for the ripples to settle. Your true self is always there, shining quietly beneath. This is the beginning of freedom. This is the beginning of self-love. Imagine standing quietly by a still lake early in the morning. The water is so calm and clear that it reflects everything perfectly. You see the trees, the sky, and even yourself reflected in the water's surface. In this reflection, there's no judgment or story, just what is. This is the power of mindfulness. It acts like a mirror, showing you who you truly are beneath the noise of your mind. Often, we live our lives caught up in thoughts about the past or worries about the future. We forget to be present. Our minds run like wild horses, pulling us away from the moment we are in. But when we practice mindfulness, we learn to slow down and observe ourselves clearly. We see what is happening inside us without adding extra stories or harsh labels. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the path to true understanding. When you become mindful, you watch your thoughts, feelings, and sensations with gentle attention. You do not try to change or judge them. You simply notice them as they are. This simple act of watching is like holding up a mirror to the mind. In this mirror, you begin to see patterns. You notice how some thoughts come and go quickly, while others stick like glue. You see how certain feelings arise in response to events around you. You start to recognize when your mind is restless or calm. This clarity helps you understand yourself better. Mindfulness reveals the truth that your thoughts are not you. They are passing experiences. You're the one who notices them. This realization is freeing because it means you're not your fears, your doubts, or your mistakes. You're the awareness that watches these things. When you look into this mirror, you may also see parts of yourself that you have avoided. Maybe there are feelings of sadness, anger, or loneliness that you have pushed away. Mindfulness does not ask you to hide from these feelings. Instead, it invites you to meet them with kindness and curiosity. Imagine a child who is scared of the dark. Instead of running away, the child turns on a small light and sees that the shadows are just shapes on the wall. Mindfulness is like that light. It helps you see your emotions and thoughts clearly, so they lose their power to frighten you. By observing yourself without judgment, you create space inside your heart. This space is where love and acceptance can grow. When you are mindful, you learn to accept yourself as you are, without needing to change or fix everything right away. Many people believe that to love themselves, they must first become perfect, but mindfulness shows a different way. It teaches that love comes from seeing clearly, even when things are not perfect. It means loving yourself through the hard times, the mistakes, and the struggles. Think about how often you say harsh words to yourself in your mind. You might think, "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail." These words are like fog on a mirror, making it hard to see your true self. Mindfulness helps clear that fog by bringing gentle awareness to your thoughts. When you practice mindfulness regularly, you start to notice a shift. The harsh voice inside begins to soften. You catch yourself before you fall into self-criticism. You learn to speak to yourself as you would to a close friend, with patience and kindness. Mindfulness also teaches you to live fully in each moment. When you are present, you appreciate simple things: a warm cup of tea, the sound of birds, the feeling of your breath. These small moments become sources of joy and peace. This presence helps you connect with your body too. Often, we ignore our body's messages because we are lost in thought. But mindfulness brings your attention back to your breath, your heartbeat, and your sensations. You learn to care for your body as part of loving yourself. In Buddhist practice, mindfulness is more than just a tool. It is a way of life. It helps you see that life is always changing. Just like the seasons, your thoughts and feelings come and go. By being mindful, you learn to flow with these changes instead of resisting them. Sometimes, when you look deeply into the mirror of mindfulness, you might feel uncomfortable. You may see parts of yourself that are wounded or afraid. This is natural. The Zen master encourages you to be brave. Sit with these feelings without running away or pushing them down. With time, you will find that these difficult feelings do not last forever. They come like waves, and with mindfulness, you learn to ride the waves instead of being swept away. You discover that beneath the surface of these waves, there is calm and stillness. This calmness is your true nature. It is the part of you that is always peaceful and loving. Mindfulness helps you remember this nature, even when life feels stormy. Another important lesson of mindfulness is learning to let go. When you hold tightly to thoughts or feelings, they create suffering. Mindfulness teaches you to observe without attachment. You learn that it is okay to let things come and go. This letting go is a form of love. It is saying, "I accept myself and my experiences just as they are." You no longer fight against your own mind, but become a gentle friend to it. As you continue this practice, you will notice your relationships with others begin to change too. When you see yourself clearly and kindly, you start to see others in the same way. You become more patient, understanding, and compassionate. The mirror of mindfulness shows you that all beings share the same desire, to be happy and free from suffering. When you love yourself deeply, you naturally extend that love outward. Sometimes mindfulness leads to moments of deep insight. You may realize that the boundaries you thought separated you from others are illusions. We are all connected in this vast web of life. In these moments, self-love becomes something greater than just caring for yourself. It becomes a recognition of the sacredness of all life. You begin to see your own heart reflected in every face you meet. Mindfulness is not a quick fix. It is a gentle and steady practice that unfolds over time. There will be days when the mind is calm and days when it is restless. Both are part of the journey. The Zen master reminds you to be patient. Do not rush or judge your progress. Each step you take toward mindfulness is a step toward greater self-love. You can start anywhere, by simply noticing your breath, or by paying attention to the sounds around you. Even a few moments of mindfulness each day can begin to transform your relationship with yourself. When the mind is quiet and clear, you begin to hear the voice of your true self. It is a voice of wisdom, kindness, and peace. In this way, mindfulness becomes a mirror, not just reflecting who you are now, but showing who you have always been beneath the surface. This reflection invites you to come home to yourself, to rest in the quiet knowing that you are enough, just as you are. The path of mindfulness leads you to freedom, from fear, from judgment, from loneliness. It opens the door to deep and lasting self-love, grounded in truth and compassion. And so, the Zen master encourages you. Look deeply into the mirror of mindfulness. Watch your thoughts and feelings with gentle eyes. See yourself clearly and with love. This is the way to know your true self and to begin a life filled with peace and kindness. Imagine a small flame flickering in the darkness. It is fragile but bright. That flame is your heart, the place where compassion begins. Just as the flame needs gentle breath to grow steady and warm, your heart needs kindness to open and expand. To learn to love yourself, you must first invite kindness to live inside your own being. Many people find it easier to offer kindness to others than to themselves. When a friend is suffering, your heart reaches out naturally, full of warmth and care. Yet, when the suffering is within you, the kindness seems harder to find. This is because the mind can be quick to judge and slow to forgive when it comes to the self. The Buddha teaches that compassion is the key to ending suffering. Compassion means seeing your pain clearly and responding with warmth, not with cold judgment. To be compassionate to yourself is to recognize that you are human, imperfect, vulnerable, and deeply deserving of love. Consider the story of a gardener who tends her plants with great care. She waters them, removes weeds, and gently prunes broken branches. She does not shout at the plants for not growing fast enough or for having a few dry leaves. Instead, she offers patience and steady care. This is how you must treat your heart, with patience, not harshness. When you practice compassion for yourself, you stop trying to force change. You stop beating yourself up over mistakes or flaws. Instead, you listen with an open heart. You say to yourself, "It's okay. I'm doing my best. I'm learning." This simple act of kindness begins to heal deep wounds. Sometimes, the mind is like a storm, full of angry or fearful thoughts. Compassion is like a calm shelter where the storm can quiet down. When you create this shelter for yourself, you give your mind a safe place to rest and recover. To cultivate compassion, begin by noticing your feelings without pushing them away. If you feel sadness, anger, or fear, allow yourself to be with these feelings without shame. They are part of your experience. When you greet these emotions with kindness, they lose their power to harm you. Buddhism offers many practices to open the heart. One simple way is to say kind phrases to yourself, quietly and sincerely. For example, you might say, "May I be safe. May I be peaceful. May I be happy." Repeating these words gently softens the harsh voices inside. You can also practice compassion by imagining sending warmth and love to parts of your body or mind that feel pain or discomfort. This might feel strange at first, but with patience, it becomes a powerful way to heal. It is important to understand that compassion is not about weakness. It is a source of great strength. It takes courage to look inside, face your pain, and respond with love. This courage is the heart of true self-love. Many people carry heavy burdens of guilt and regret. These feelings can trap the heart in a cage of self-punishment. But compassion is the key to unlocking this cage. When you forgive yourself, you break free from the chains of the past. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting or excusing harm. It means choosing not to live in pain caused by what has happened. When you forgive yourself, you open space for healing and growth. In the quiet moments of meditation, you may notice the gentle beating of your heart. This is a reminder that life continues, that each moment offers a chance to begin again. Compassion invites you to treat each moment as a fresh opportunity to love yourself. The Buddha said, "Just as a mother would protect her only child with her life, even so, let one cultivate a boundless heart toward all beings. This boundless heart starts with yourself. When you can love yourself deeply, the same love flows naturally toward others. It can be helpful to think of compassion as a muscle that grows stronger with use. At first, it may feel weak or unfamiliar, but each time you choose kindness over judgment, you build this muscle stronger. Sometimes, your mind may resist compassion. It may say, "I do not deserve this," or "I am too flawed." These thoughts are old habits trying to protect you in their own way. But compassion gently invites these thoughts to rest. Imagine holding a small child who is scared or hurt. You would wrap the child in warm arms and speak softly to soothe fear. This is exactly what you must do for yourself. Become your own gentle protector. When you practice compassion regularly, you may notice changes in how you see yourself. The harsh mirror of criticism begins to soften. You start to recognize your worth, not because of what you do, but simply because you exist. This is the heart of Buddhist self-love, to know that beneath all appearances, there's a radiant being deserving of kindness and care. Your true self is not defined by mistakes, flaws, or the opinions of others. It is defined by the light of compassion shining quietly inside. Sometimes, compassion may show up as patience. You may need to be patient with slow progress or with difficult feelings. Patience is a form of love that holds space without pressure or expectation. The Zen master reminds you, do not rush this process. Love is not a goal to achieve quickly. It is a garden to tend carefully day by day. Each moment of kindness you offer yourself is a seed planted for peace to grow. In your daily life, you can practice small acts of compassion. When you notice tension or stress, take a deep breath and say, "I am here for you." When you make a mistake, remind yourself, it's okay to be human. These simple words carry great power. The Buddhist teachings encourage us to treat ourselves as we would a dear friend, with respect, kindness, and care. When you practice this, you create a foundation for happiness that no external event can shake. Compassion also opens the door to connection. When you love yourself, you are less afraid to be vulnerable with others. You can share your true feelings without hiding behind masks of perfection. This honesty deepens relationships and creates a sense of belonging. It is a circle. As you love yourself, you become a source of love for those around you. This is the beauty of the path. Remember, your heart is like the small flame in the darkness. When you nourish it with compassion, it grows steady and strong. It becomes a light that guides you through difficult times. Even when life feels hard or lonely, this light inside can never be taken away. It is always there, waiting for you to come home to yourself. So be gentle with your heart. Speak to yourself with kindness. Offer patience where there is struggle. In these acts of compassion, you learn to love yourself truly and deeply. This is the way of peace that the Buddha showed, a path where self-love and compassion walk hand in hand. And as your heart opens, you will find that love flows naturally, not just inward but outward to all beings, bringing healing and joy to the world. Imagine a tree standing tall in the forest. It does not worry about having every leaf perfect or every branch straight. It simply grows, reaching for the sky, bending with the wind, and accepting each season as it comes. This tree teaches us about acceptance, the quiet power of saying yes to life exactly as it is, including ourselves just as we are. Many people spend much of their lives fighting against their own imperfections. They try to fix what they see is wrong, to hide what they think is ugly, or to pretend they're different from what they truly feel inside. But this battle often brings pain, because it is like trying to hold water in your hands. The harder you grasp, the more it slips away. The Buddha taught that acceptance is not about giving up or being passive. It is a courageous act of facing reality without denial. To accept means to look clearly at your imperfections, your fears, and your mistakes, and to greet them with kindness instead of judgment. This is a path to deep peace. When you resist who you are, you create tension inside. You become your own enemy. But when you accept yourself fully, even the parts you wish were different, you create space for healing. Acceptance softens the heart and opens the door to self-love. Imagine carrying a heavy bag all day, filled with stones called, "I am not good enough, I must be perfect," and "I should be different." Acceptance is like setting down that bag. It does not mean you ignore what is inside, but you choose not to carry it anymore. Each imperfection you notice is part of your unique being. Like cracks in a beautiful vase, they tell a story. In some traditions, these cracks are even treasured, for they show where the light can enter. When you embrace your imperfections, you allow your true light to shine through. The mind often tells stories that perfection is the only way to be loved or accepted. But these stories come from outside influences, from society, family, or past experiences. The truth is that your worth is not based on being flawless. Your worth is in simply being. Acceptance also means accepting the present moment, the thoughts, feelings, and sensations you experience right now. Many suffer because they fight against the way things are in this moment. But peace comes when you say, "This is how it is," without adding a harsh story. When difficult emotions arise, like sadness, anger, or fear, acceptance means allowing them to be there without pushing them away. You observe them as a witness, knowing they will pass like clouds in the sky. By accepting these feelings, you reduce their power over you. It is important to remember that acceptance does not mean resignation. It is not about settling for less or giving up your dreams. Rather, it is about grounding yourself in reality before you take any step forward. Like a strong tree, you find stability in acceptance, and then you can grow in the direction you choose. Many people mistake acceptance for weakness. They believe that if they accept their flaws, they will stop trying to improve. But true acceptance is the foundation for genuine growth. When you accept yourself fully, you are no longer held back by fear or shame. You can change because you are motivated by kindness, not self-hate. Think of a river flowing around stones. The water does not fight the rocks. It flows gently around them. Acceptance is like the river, flowing with life's obstacles instead of against them. This flow brings peace. When you practice acceptance, you begin to notice that your self-critical thoughts lose their sharpness. The voice inside your head becomes softer. You start to speak to yourself with gentle words, the same way a caring friend would. This does not mean you will never feel frustration or sadness. These feelings are natural and part of life. But acceptance teaches you to hold these feelings with compassion, to let them be, and understand that they do not define you. Buddhism offers many ways to practice acceptance. One simple way is through mindfulness meditation. Sit quietly and bring your attention to the breath. Notice any thoughts or feelings that arise. Instead of pushing them away, welcome them like guests. This practice trains the mind to rest in acceptance. Another way is through self-reflection. When you notice a harsh judgment, pause and ask, "Is this true? Is it kind of think this about myself?" Often, the mind's harsh stories are exaggerations or misunderstandings. Questioning them gently weakens their hold. The Zen master says, "To accept yourself is to recognize the perfection in imperfection." You are a living being, constantly changing and evolving. You are like a work of art, unfinished and beautiful in every moment. Many seekers struggle because they compare themselves to others. They measure their worth by someone else's standards. But acceptance means letting go of comparison. Your path is unique, and your journey is your own. When you accept this, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. The Buddha also taught the importance of gratitude. When you accept yourself, you naturally feel gratitude for your body, your mind, and your life. Gratitude shifts the mind from lack to abundance. It opens the heart. Accepting imperfection is also about embracing your humanity. To be human is to be imperfect. It means making mistakes, learning, and growing. This is the beauty of life. The Buddha's path is not to erase imperfections, but to embrace them with love. When you accept yourself, you also accept others more easily. You see their imperfections without judgment. Compassion flows naturally because you understand the shared nature of suffering. Sometimes acceptance is hard because it feels like giving up on who you want to be. But the Zen master invites you to see acceptance as the root of true transformation. Only when you accept yourself fully can real change begin. This acceptance creates a foundation of stability. From this place, you can build habits, choose actions, and create a life that reflects your true nature. You no longer act from fear or shame, but from peace and love. Imagine waking up each morning and greeting yourself with acceptance. Good morning, I see you. I accept you. This simple act is revolutionary. It heals wounds that no medicine can touch. The journey of acceptance is ongoing. Some days you may forget and fall into old habits of judgment. This is natural. Each time you return to acceptance, you strengthen your practice. It is like walking a path. Sometimes you stumble, but you keep walking. The Zen master reminds you, do not rush this process. Acceptance is gentle and patient. It is not forced change. It invites you to rest in the present moment and to trust the natural unfolding of your life. Your imperfections are not flaws to hide. They are part of your story, your beauty, and your strength. Embrace them with an open heart. As you deepen your acceptance, you will find that self-love grows naturally. It is not forced or earned. It simply arises when the mind is free from judgment. Remember, peace comes not from being perfect, but from being real. The Buddha's wisdom shows us that the path to happiness is through acceptance. Acceptance of ourselves, others, and life as it is. Let your heart be like the tree, standing tall and calm, accepting every season with grace. In this acceptance, you find freedom. You find love. Imagine a vast, empty sky stretching endlessly in every direction. No edges, no limits, just openness. Now, imagine that this sky is not empty, but full of endless possibility. In Buddhism, this emptiness is not a nothingness, but the space where everything arises and exists. Your true self is like this vast sky, clear, open, and whole. Yet, many people do not realize this because they are caught in the small stories of their mind. When we say emptiness in Buddhism, it is not about being hollow or lost. It is about understanding that the self you cling to, the one you think is solid and fixed, is actually like a cloud passing through the sky. The cloud is temporary. The sky remains, always spacious and unchanging beneath it. This is a powerful teaching that invites you to look beyond the surface and discover your true nature. Many suffer because they believe they are separated, small, or broken. They feel incomplete and try to fill that emptiness with things, achievements, possessions, approval from others. But no matter how much you gather, the feeling of wholeness does not come from outside. It comes from within. Realizing your true nature is like waking up from a deep sleep. You see that the stories and identities you built are like a dream. When the dream ends, you return to your natural state, calm, clear, and whole. This is the essence of awakening in Buddhism. You might wonder, how do I find this true nature? How do I move from feeling empty to feeling whole? The answer lies in gentle observation and practice. Begin by noticing your thoughts and feelings without pushing them away. Watch them like clouds passing in the sky of your mind. Do not cling, do not resist. Simply see. As you do this, you will notice that thoughts come and go. Some are bright and happy, others dark and heavy. But none of them last forever. Beneath all these changing thoughts, there's a steady presence, your true nature. It is like the calm ocean beneath the waves. The Zen master encourages you to rest in this presence. When you feel lost or confused, return to the simple awareness of being here now. This moment is whole. It is complete. You do not need to add anything to it. This understanding can bring great peace. When you realize that you are not your fears, your mistakes, or your pain, you can let them go with kindness. You begin to treat yourself not as a broken person, but as a whole being who is learning and growing. In the world, we are taught to seek completeness through others or through achievements. But Buddhist wisdom shows that true wholeness is already inside you. It is not something to gain or lose. It is always present, waiting for you to see it clearly. This realization does not mean life becomes perfect or free from problems. Challenges will still arise. But when you rest in your true nature, you face difficulties with a calm heart. You see them as waves on the ocean, not as a storm destroying your existence. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones. Each stone is a worry, a fear, or a judgment you hold about yourself. Now, imagine setting down that backpack and feeling the lightness of your body and mind. Realizing your true nature is like setting down that burden. You become free to move and breathe fully. Many people search for their true self outside themselves, in others' eyes, in success, or in material things. But the Buddha taught that this search must turn inward. When you look inside with honest and gentle eyes, you find that you are already complete. This does not mean you are perfect. Wholeness includes all your imperfections, your struggles, and your beauty. It is like a mosaic made of many different pieces. Each piece matters and fits into the whole. Sometimes the mind resists this idea. It wants to keep you trapped in ideas of not enough or broken. This resistance is natural. It is the mind trying to protect itself from change. The Zen master invites you to meet this resistance with patience. Do not fight it. Simply notice it and keep returning to your true nature. One way to do this is through meditation. Sitting quietly, you watch your breath and let thoughts come and go. You learn to rest in the space between thoughts, where your true self is felt. This space is open and free. It does not judge or cling. You can also practice this awareness during the day. When you feel stress or self-doubt, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath. Remember that beneath all your worries, there's a clear and calm space inside you. This practice helps you understand that emptiness is not absence, but a place of great fullness. It is the ground of all life and love. When you rest in this truth, your heart opens naturally. From emptiness comes wholeness. From silence comes understanding. From stillness comes peace. You are invited to explore this mystery gently and patiently. There is no need to rush or force. The true nature of your being reveals itself slowly, like a flower opening to the morning sun. As you deepen this understanding, you begin to see yourself and others with new eyes. You see that everyone shares this same true nature beneath the surface. This awareness creates deep compassion because you know that everyone is walking the same path. This path is not about becoming something new. It is about uncovering what has always been there, a vast, open, loving presence. You may sometimes feel lonely or small. These feelings are like clouds covering the sky, but the sky remains vast and infinite. It is always there no matter what. The Zen master reminds you, return to this vastness often. Let it soothe your heart and clear your mind. Let it remind you that you are not alone and that your true self is whole and free. In this way, the journey from emptiness to wholeness is the most beautiful discovery you can make. It is the heart of learning to love yourself. So breathe deeply. Feel the space inside. Know that you are complete just as you are. This is your true nature. This is your deepest home. When you truly begin to love yourself, you discover a new way of living, a life of harmony with yourself and the world around you. This harmony is not something you force or chase after. It grows naturally, like a quiet river flowing gently through a valley. It is a peaceful rhythm that arises when your heart is open and your mind is calm. In the teachings of the Buddha, life is understood as a delicate balance. Every moment offers a chance to live with kindness, to act with wisdom, and to be present with whatever is happening. When you practice self-love, you begin to carry this balance within you. It colors how you move through the day, how you speak, and how you relate to others. Living in harmony means letting go of the need to control everything. It means trusting the flow of life, even when it feels uncertain or difficult. The Buddha taught that suffering often comes from resisting what is. When you learn to accept what comes, without harsh judgment or fear, you open a door to peace. Imagine a tree standing tall in the wind. It does not fight the breeze. Instead, it bends gracefully and roots itself deeply in the earth. Like this tree, self-love helps you stand firm in your true nature, while being flexible and gentle with life's changes. When you carry love for yourself, you naturally extend it to others. The kindness you give yourself becomes a river that flows outward, touching those around you. You listen more deeply, speak more gently, and act with more patience. This is the power of Buddhist practice, not just a personal journey, but a way to bring harmony to the whole world. To live in harmony with yourself, it helps to return often to simple practices. One is mindfulness, being fully present in each moment. When you eat, walk, or breathe, try to bring your attention fully to that experience. Notice the sensations, the smells, the sounds. This simple act connects you to the here and now, where love and peace are found. Another practice is to recognize the feelings that arise without pushing them away. When difficult emotions come, such as sadness or anger, greet them with curiosity rather than fear. Say quietly in your mind, "I see you. I accept you." This is self-love in action, allowing yourself to be human without judgment. Harmony also means caring for your body, the home of your spirit. The Buddha taught that the body is precious. It carries you through life's journey. Treat it with respect. Rest when you need rest. Eat nourishing food. Move gently. When you care for your body lovingly, your mind follows with calm and clarity. In daily life, challenges are inevitable. There will be moments when a mind becomes restless or self-critical. When these times come, remember to pause. Take a deep breath. Return your focus to your heart. Ask yourself, what would love do now? This simple question can shift your perspective and bring you back to harmony. Living in harmony also means setting boundaries kindly. Loving yourself includes saying no when something harms your peace. It means choosing activities, people, and environments that support your well-being. This is not selfishness, but wisdom. The Buddha encourages protecting your mind and heart like a gardener protects a delicate flower. You may notice that when you live with this balance, your relationships change. You become less reactive and more understanding. When conflicts arise, you respond with calmness instead of anger. When someone hurts you, you do not close your heart, but hold space for healing. This is the deep power of self-love made real. The practice of loving yourself also involves forgiveness of yourself and others. The Buddha taught that holding on to anger or regret only causes more suffering. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. It frees your heart to open and to love more fully. One way to nurture this harmony is to cultivate gratitude. Each day, take a moment to notice the small blessings, the warmth of the sun, a kind word, a peaceful breath. Gratitude softens the heart and reminds you of the goodness in life. When you appreciate what is, you create space for more joy and love. You might wonder how to keep this harmony in the face of life's uncertainties. The Zen master says, harmony is not the absence of difficulty. It is the ability to meet difficulty with a calm and open heart. It is like a calm lake reflecting the sky, even when the wind blows. As you grow in self-love, you begin to understand that all beings are connected. Your peace affects others, and their peace affects you. This interconnection is at the heart of Buddhist teaching. When you care for yourself, you contribute to the well-being of the whole. Harmony in life invites patience. Change does not happen overnight. Like planting a seed, it takes time to grow. There will be days when you feel strong and days when you feel weak. The Zen master reminds you, this is natural. Be gentle with yourself in every moment. It is helpful to create daily moments of stillness. Even a few minutes of quiet meditation or mindful breathing can remind you of your true nature. These moments are like anchors, keeping you steady in the flow of life. Sometimes, you may face old fears or doubts as you open your heart. When these arise, welcome them without resistance. They are part of your journey, not obstacles to it. The Buddha teaches that awareness and acceptance transform fear into freedom. Remember the story of the lotus flower. It grows in muddy water, but rises above the mud to bloom beautifully. So too can you rise above the difficulties in your mind and heart to live in harmony and love. The practice of loving yourself through Buddhism is not about isolating yourself from the world. It is about meeting the world with an open heart. When you live in harmony within, you bring peace and light to every place you go. You may find that as you cultivate this inner harmony, your daily life feels lighter and more joyful. Tasks that once felt burdensome become opportunities for presence and care. Relationships deepen. Your sense of purpose grows clearer. The Zen master encourages you to trust this process. Each step you take toward loving yourself builds a foundation of peace. Each moment you practice kindness toward yourself is a step toward freedom. In the quiet moments, when you sit with yourself, know that you are exactly where you need to be. There's no rush. There's no perfect way. Just the gentle unfolding of love and harmony. Your journey is unique, yet it connects you to all who seek peace. The Buddhist teachings are a guide and a friend, always available when you need support. As you continue to live in harmony, notice how your heart softens. You become more forgiving, more patient, more joyful. This is the true power of self-love. So breathe deeply. Feel the love growing inside you. Let it shine gently in your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Let it flow naturally into every part of your life. Harmony is not a distant goal. It is here now within you. You only need to open your heart and let it in. As we come to the final step on this path of learning to love yourself, imagine a soft light glowing quietly within you. This light has grown steadily through patience, kindness, and understanding. It is your true nature, shining beyond fear, judgment, and doubt. This light is your inner peace. This light is your love. The journey you've traveled is not one of rushing or forcing. It is a journey of gentle discovery, of peeling away the layers that hide your true self. Like the lotus flower that blooms from the muddy water, your self-love has blossomed from the depths of struggle and uncertainty. When you love yourself deeply, you begin to see the world with new eyes. You see others not as threats or competitors, but as fellow travelers on this path. You feel a connection that is soft and real, a connection that comes from the heart, not the mind. Buddha taught that when you cultivate love inside, it naturally flows outward. The more you love yourself, the more you can offer kindness and compassion to others. This is not a task or a duty. It is a natural unfolding. When your own heart is full, it overflows gently into the lives around you. Think of a candle lighting other candles. It does not lose its flame by giving light away. Instead, it creates more light. So it is with your love. When you nurture your own heart, you become a source of warmth and peace for others. This is the radiance within, the quiet strength that guides you through life's storms. When difficulties arise, you face them with a steady mind and a soft heart. You no longer fight yourself or run for pain. Instead, you embrace what is, knowing that you have the power to be kind to yourself in every moment. Remember the lessons you have learned on this path. The importance of seeing past illusions, the power of mindfulness, the gentle voice of compassion, and the freedom found in acceptance. These are treasures that belong to you, always ready to support you when you need them. Life will continue to bring challenges. You will have moments of doubt, fear, and sadness. This is natural and part of being human. But you now carry within you a refuge, a place of calm and love you can return to again and again. As you move forward, carry this truth with you. You are worthy of love, exactly as you are. Not because of what you do or what others say, but simply because you exist. This is the heart of Buddhism's teaching on self-love. There is no need to chase after perfection or approval. When you rest in your true self, you find a peaceful strength that no outside circumstance can take away. This strength is steady and kind. It is a foundation for a joyful life. The light within you is not separate from the light in all beings. When you love yourself, you also honor the love in others. You see that we are all connected by this shared desire for happiness and peace. This understanding brings a deep sense of belonging. You are not alone in your struggles or in your joy. You are part of a vast web of life, woven together by love and compassion. Take time each day to nurture this light inside. With each breath, remind yourself, I am worthy. I am enough. I am loved. These simple words have the power to heal and transform. When you find moments of quiet, sit with yourself as a friend. Listen with kindness. Let go of harsh thoughts. Feel the warmth of your own heart, beating gently, patiently. This practice is a gift you give yourself, a gift that keeps giving. With every act of self-love, you deepen your peace and your joy. The Zen master reminds you, life is not about arriving at a perfect destination. It is about walking the path with an open heart. Loving yourself is a lifelong journey, full of ups and downs. And that is perfectly okay. Be patient. Be gentle. Trust in the process. Every step you take brings you closer to your true self. As your heart opens, you will notice the world becoming softer, more beautiful. You will find yourself smiling more freely. You will meet others with more patience and understanding. This is the power of self-love. It transforms not only your own life, but the lives of those around you. So, continue to shine your light quietly, steadily. Let it be a beacon of peace in your life and in the world. You have done well to walk this path. Remember, the Buddha's wisdom is always here to guide you. The love within you is always ready to grow. Walk gently with yourself. Walk kindly with others. And carry this love forward in all that you do. Namo Buddhaye. If you want, I could prepare a closing paragraph with the usual call to action for your channel to end the video. Just let me know.